We also learned about other threats to Guatemala's environment, including the major threat posed by the recent activity of multinational mining corporations who have been contaminating the groundwater by using large quantities of arsenic to leach gold from rocks. The following brief news story from the Arab news station Al Jazeera sums up the controversy.
This is the Marlin Mine, the largest gold mine in Guatemala. The Canadian-owned mine accounts for 95% of Guatemala's precious metal exports. But since operation started in 2007, opposition to the mine has grown. Human rights workers and residents have accused the mine's owners of exploiting local communities. Most worrying, they say, is the use of highly toxic cyanide to separate gold particles from the rock in a process known as leaching, a method that is being banned in several countries. After processing, the cyanide-contaminated water is dumped into this tailing pond a few hundred meters from people's homes. Some residents claim this dangerous waste, along with heavy metals such as mercury and lead, are making their children sick. Adelia Macarillo was teaching in a community school in 2007 when she noticed skin lesions on some of the local children, something she'd never seen before. She says that when she showed photographs she'd taken to parents who worked at the mine, they said that speaking out against their employer would cost them their jobs, and told her to keep quiet or leave the school.
I'm not very close now with the people who work at the mine. They look at me differently. If you claim your rights, they think you're against development, but I don't see the development.
Juana Bamaca's 5-year-old daughter is one of the children Adelia photographed. The lesions have left deep scars on her back. Another child of hers, then only an infant, died 2 years ago. Juana remains convinced that chemical waste from the mine was to blame.
We're angry with the mine because of the damage it's doing to us.
Goldcorp, Marlin's parent company, denies these accusations. Although no one was available at the time of Al Jazeera's visit, they sent this statement. Investigations have been conducted in Guatemala by credible experts, trained medical staff, government agencies, international institutions, and Goldcorp in response to allegations of medical illnesses and skin rashes. No evidence exists that these conditions are related to the operation of the Marlin mine in Guatemala. Mine management point to the nearly $9 million of royalties paid to the government and local communities, the schools they've helped fund, and the more than 1,000 jobs they've created for local people. Mayra de Serrano has been selling groceries to the mine's cafeteria since 2001 and doesn't want the mining to stop.
When people started protesting against the mine, we realized that the moment the mine closes, we'll have to leave San Miguel to find work. Jobs here are scarce.
But the economic benefits and assurances by Goldcorp that its mine poses no health risks haven't quelled growing concern.
As a result of the Marlin mine's operations here, more than 500,000 people across western Guatemala have voted against mining projects, sending a strong message to the government.
In 2008, Goldcorp was kicked off Canada's respected Jantzi Index, which rates companies for investors based on how socially and environmentally responsible they are. It's now up to Goldcorp to decide how best to address the community's concerns. Until that happens, residents and activists say they will continue their resistance to the Marlin mine.
As part of our environmental education in La Labor, we saw a documentary about the mining issue in Guatemala and talked about it with Antonio Reyes Romero, Director of Environmental Health for the Sangre de Cristo Healthcare Project.
Porque es evidente, o sea, todo este problema y toda esta situación que vivimos en el país, en todo Guatemala, ¿verdad? Es porque las autoridades están a favor de estos intereses nacionales de unas poquitas personas e intereses internacionales de compañías transnacionales, ¿verdad?
Okay, so all of this is evident because the problem is that the authorities here in Guatemala are in favor of these foreign interests and these international corporations that would benefit a few rather than the majority.
Por ejemplo, en la primera explotación que quieren hacer aquí en San Pedro de Ampú, pero que va a ser más afectado directamente el otro municipio, las autoridades municipales y el juzgado de paz, de una forma como de intimidar a los líderes de las comunidades, los citaron al juzgado la semana antepasada, hace 15 días.
Okay, so for example, in one of the first places where the mining exploration is to be carried out in the area of San Pedro and Pucot, where it's going to affect that other community that is closer to it, the city officials in that area, through the
Justice of the Peace,
have mounted, like, they've taken away the activists.
They put a demand against the community because the community was not in favor of the mine. So they put a demand against them, so they had to go to court now.
Understand that putting a demand is like suing.
Oh yeah, that's what
they're suing the community who's resisting the mining efforts.
So the government officials are suing their own community because the community is not in support of the mining company coming in.
The multinational corporations bent on extracting gold from Guatemala, whatever the cost to the indigenous population, resonate eerily with much of Latin America's tragic history. Nearly 500 years ago, Spanish conquistadores landed in Guatemala with the same intentions and decimated the Mayan population in the process. Every schoolchild in Guatemala knows this story, which was reenacted for us at our farewell dinner in La Labor. Spanish gold mining was followed in rapid succession by Europeans and North Americans in search of sugar, coffee beans, bananas, and petroleum, natural resources in plentiful supply in Guatemala that, ironically, have almost never benefited the people who live there. And though many people in Guatemala are angry about this most recent round of colonial exploitation, they are not angry at all North Americans. We found no shortage of people willing to open their arms to us in sincere friendship. This was their gift to us. Our gift to them was to listen to their stories, their history, and their dreams of the future. The final performance at our farewell banquet asked us to listen deeply to the words of a child and the nation that she represented.
¿Qué quiero ser cuando sea grande? Todos los pequeños nos preguntamos eso, pero por ahora no lo sé. Me esfuerzo día a día con mis tareas y me imagino ser alguien exitosa, maestra, licenciada, cocinera, madre, albañil. Por ahora no lo sé, pero me da tristeza imaginar que en mi Guatemala, mi eterna primavera, poco a poco se duerme en el ocaso y no sé si mis sueños se podrán hacer realidad. Oh árbol bello, ¿dónde estás? Si no hay suelo fértil, donde tu raíz se aferra en la vida. Monja blanca, ¿dónde estás? Si no hay árbol que acaricie tus raíces, la bandera no ondea libre al viento, ni tendrá más azul y blanco esplendoroso, porque mi cielo gris será, y las notas de mi marimba no se escuchan más. Tú, mi padre y yo tenemos en las manos que mis sueños y los tuyos se hagan realidad, sembrando árboles y dándoles libertad, porque lo que le pasa a la flora y a la fauna le pasará también al hombre. El murmullo de los ríos es la voz del Padre mío, y escucho la voz de un niño. No importa lo que quiero ser, siempre y cuando pueda vivir y crecer para ser alguien de bien, porque el que encuentra un buen motivo para vivir, encuentra un gran motivo para morir. Patria Guatemala, legendaria, histórica y bravía, tierra de la marimba y la chirimía, tierra del quetzal y del